So last night was Ring of Honor's Best in the World 2014 pay-per-view, their debut on the major pay-per-view providers. I watched it online. It was a good pay-per-view. I'll go through the results, through the matches. 7 of the matches, Best in the World, of course, happened in Nashville, Tennessee. The card certainly showed the variety in wrestling matches. Obviously, their first pay-per-view, it was obvious from the card and from the way the night played out that they wanted to have a variety of matches so they could show their pay-per-view audience and potential future pay-per-view buyers the variation that Ring of Honor can provide. In the opening match, ACH defeated Watanabe, Caprice Coleman, Tadarius Thomas, BJ Whitmer and Tommaso Ciampa in a 6-man mayhem match. This was a match, 2 men in the ring at the same time, the rest of them on the apron. You can tag in anybody else, and if one of the in-ring competitors goes to the floor or gets knocked to the floor, any other of the competitors can declare themselves legal. This was a good match. It was actually for a future ROH World Television Championship match. It was a really good match, some great high flying from all these guys. Watanabe, a young boy in Japan, he's come over to Ring of Honor for experience, some seasoning. He is got good potential for future. This was a good match, an exciting match, a good match of about 12 minutes, so they had every match on the card had good time to tell their story, and this was a great show from some of the young talent in Ring of Honor. Talking the World Television Championship, Jay Lethal, accompanied by Truth Martini and Silesia Sparks, would defeat Matt Taven in defending that very championship. Jay Lethal's gone down the heel route lately, very much a bad guy in the House of Truth. Jay Lethal is a veteran of I think he's approximately about 13 years. He's at least 10, 11 years. He's a really good talent. This is a good feud with Matt Taven. Matt Taven's another young guy. He's got great potential, and this was a really good match. It was a bit of a ongoing thing with Truth Martini, who was actually handcuffed to one of the corner posts, and Silesia Sparks, who was kind of like as long as you think China, kind of a female bodybuilder, kind of body. It was really good though. Jay Lethal and Matt Taven put on a really good match for the ROH World Television Championship. Jay Lethal, as said, retained. This feud I hope is ongoing, and hopefully these guys can get a few more matches to really get to know how to work with each other. Third match, now this was a really good match. Cedric Alexander defeated Roderick Strong in a submission match. The whole story of this one was Cedric Alexander and his back. Roderick Strong really went after his back, doing back crackers, doing all these various. Roderick Strong is a fantastic technical wrestler. He's been with ROH for a decade, which is why he's in the group The Decade. Cedric Alexander certainly will, I think, benefit a heck of a lot, not just from the exposure of feuding with somebody like Roderick Strong, but working in a regular program with him, gaining the knowledge and experience of how to do a match, how to put a match together properly with Roderick Strong. This was a really good match. Cedric Alexander took a little bit of the shock when I thought it was good that they gave Cedric Alexander to put him over in this match. So Roderick Strong, I think, to be honest, in this match showed his veteran status and showed that he can lead certain people to a really good match. Fourth match of 7, the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark Briscoe, against Matt Hardy and Michael Bennett, who was of course accompanied by his fiancée Maria Kanellis. Now this was a shortened match initially. I was this match really hardly got going before Michael Bennett went in the ring and hit one of the Briscoes in the head with Matt Hardy's iconic championship belt. I thought that was really, really annoying. I thought, no, this had a potential to be a really good match, but then for just literally a couple of minutes into the match, to have it end like that, to be honest, especially on their very first pay-per-view, I thought that was ridiculous. Thankfully, the Briscoe brothers asked for and received an appearance by Nigel McGuinness, who would actually remain out for the rest of the night on commentary. A really, really good commentator is Nigel McGuinness, and this ended up being a no disqualification tag team match. Nigel McGuinness, the matchmaker, the kind of commission role for Ring of Honor, made it that way. This was an exceptional match that had tables and it had ladders as well. In fact, it was a really good spot by one of the Briscoes. I think it was Mark even, who did a Cactus Jack-esque, well, it wasn't a Cactus Jack-esque, it was a Cactus Jack running elbow to Matt Hardy, who was lying outside the ring, and even said bang bang before he did it. The end came where the Briscoe brothers were able to superplex Matt Hardy off the top of a ladder through a table. The Briscoe brothers, again, another one that have been there since day one in Ring of Honor. This was a good match. This could have been, looking at the way the night went, it was obviously another happy moment for the fans, the Briscoe brothers getting the win. I thought perhaps they could have gone with the Matt Hardy and Michael Bennett win, just the way the rest of the night went, and I'll get to that in a moment. But it was a really good match. I've always been fans of the Briscoe brothers. They've always been great wrestlers, and I do hope, it certainly look like this feud is not finished. It looked like Jay and Mark Briscoe had actually managed to take back the World Championship belt, the physical belt that Jay had made for himself, that Matt Hardy has stuck a sticker of himself on. Maria Kanellis stole it right at the end of the match, so hopefully that's something to keep the feud going, that the Briscoe brothers still want that belt back from Matt Hardy and Michael Bennett. Maria Kanellis was a decent promo just before this match, talking about My Kingdom, borrowing a little bit from Stephanie McMahon in that way, but these two guys have made a great tag team. The only thing about this feud is, though, is Matt Hardy sticking with Ring of Honor, because he is scheduled for the TNA Impact Wrestling New York City tapings. Does this mean he's leaving to go back to Impact Wrestling? We don't know, but hopefully Matt Hardy does stay with the Ring of Honor. This feud can continue a little bit more. Next up, this was a really good match. Kevin Steen defeated Silas Young. Silas Young looks physically like ravishing Rick Rude. He has the attitude of Magnum TA. And in the promo that was played, there was promos played before every match explaining the story of each match. During the promo bit of it, he certainly spoke like Chris Benoit. Now, maybe it's just me, but he certainly kind of spoke like Chris Benoit. And I do think that Silas Young, he just needs to turn the volume up a little bit more, just slightly. I think he's got all the potential in the world. This was a really good match. Kevin Steen, the veteran of Ring of Honor, taking on yet another young superstar. A lot of these matches going on, you realise, these are kind of Ring of Honor originals, or certainly very well established Ring of Honor stars taking on young stars, the future of Ring of Honor. It was a really good match, a hell of a showing from both these guys. Silas, like I said, just needs to turn the volume up a little bit more, develop his skills slightly, it was a really good showing by both of these guys. Kevin Steen eventually able to hit the package pile driver for the win. Now this is where it came into the future again. A lot of things about the future in this pay-per-view of Kevin Steen. Right after this match, Kevin Steen took the microphone, said that admitted his contract with Ring of Honor is coming up, says it's time to step away from Ring of Honor for a little while. He doesn't have much time left on his contract. He's with Ring of Honor, according to him, for approximately the next month and a half. He's looking forward to every moment that he has in the ring with the company. Is this another further indication that Kevin Steen is actually going to WWE, that he is in fact leaving Ring of Honor? Strong rumours again, I hate to go into these rumours, things that Kevin Steen may actually have signed the WWE contract and be going into the WWE Developmental Center, NXT, in Florida in August, which would roughly make it so, because it's about counting towards the end of June, but that would take him up to about the end of August. Could we see Kevin Steen leaving Ring of Honor? Could this be one of Kevin Steen's last stands? We don't know. Silas Young attacked Kevin Steen near the end of this promo, left Kevin Steen lying. This feud looks like it may very well be the last feud that Kevin Steen has with the company. Talking about last feuds, and a return to Ring of Honor by two great talents, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. They made the return, facing Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon, in an excellent tag team match. Again, this is another match, and I don't watch as much of Ring of Honor as I should do. I just, even with being unemployed, there's so much stuff I have to do, and still much stuff that takes up my time. Sometimes I don't get the chance to watch it as much as I would love to. It's a great company. I've tried to keep up to date with it since the very beginning of the company, Ring of Honor. This was a good match. The veteran skills of Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, that's what they used in that match. Going up against the MMA influence of Red Dragon, that's what they used. Trying to almost equal and perhaps shadow a little bit the veteran instincts and skills of Daniels and Kazarian with their MMA skills. Of course, they were trained in the last few months by Tom Lawler. That's exactly what they used in this match. Used a lot of submission moves, guillotine, arm bars. The story of this match that really cost Daniels and Kazarian was Kazarian's shoulder and arm injury when he got pushed into the turnbuckles, really forcibly by Red Dragon. Eventually it cost Daniels and Kazarian the win, and Red Dragon kept their ROH World Tag Team Championship. A good match. Again, this is another feud that I would like to see these guys work together on more shows, perhaps even train, off camera, off shows with each other a little bit, get used to each other's skills, their abilities, their limitations even, and this could be a really, really hot feud over the ROH tag team titles between Red Dragon and Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. This really could be a hot tag feud going forward. Red Dragon going to the two of the names going to New Japan very shortly for Ring of Honor. I believe the other ones are Adam Cole and Michael Bennett, according to the commentators. Again, another really great feud. Last match, the main event, was Michael Elgin against Adam Cole. He had feud for the ROH World Championship. I have to say, I didn't know until very recently that Mischief, a very famous female wrestler, is actually now married to Unbreakable Michael Elgin. I genuinely didn't know that they were in a relationship until very recently, which surprised me. It's amazing sometimes, and I've said it before, the just the relationships that you get in professional wrestling. Some of the relationships between people who you wouldn't even think are connected, but then you end up realizing they're best of friends or they knew each other from here or there or somewhere. You know, for example, Mabel and Rob Van Dam, you wouldn't think put them together, but they were best of friends. Sadly, until Mabel's passing, and there's various, but this was a whole based on kind of a little bit of Michael Elgin wanting the ROH World Championship. This was again another really good match. Michael Elgin is kind of a smaller guy. Well, he's not really small guy, but he's in the kind of the short, stocky build type, body type, much like Rhino from ECW and WWE, and now of course independent. But Michael Elgin, really shows that he has great skill, fantastic strength, and he working together with Adam Cole put together a really great match. And I have to agree with a lot of people that I saw on Twitter and on Facebook that Adam Cole really does have a huge amount of potential. It's been really Adam Cole that has been pushing this situation, really, obviously, as the heel being the protagonist. This was an excellent match between the two guys, each using their signature maneuvers, trying to get the win. Michael Elgin using the turnbuckle bombs and the Elgin bombs. Adam Cole using his famed Florida key lock, which is kind of like a German suplex where you have your opponent's arms kind of at their in front of them and at their stomachs, and you've got a hold of them and you can pin them. It's a really good move, and these guys have a really good feud. Michael Elgin eventually defeated Adam Cole to win the ROH World Championship. A good decision, I think, by Ring of Honor. Hopefully this will not. Again, this is yet another feud, one of the many feuds on this card that I really hope doesn't finish with this event. They really do have the potential to make this a money feud for the company. A really good shown by these guys. A lot of pinfall attempts that didn't quite get there. In fact, at one point, Michael Elgin covered Adam Cole after an Elgin bomb, which is like a sit-down power bomb, and it was so close. It was so close to getting the pinfall that many fans in Nashville, I believe it's the State Fairground Arena, actually so thought it was the 1, 2, 3 that they threw a heck of a lot of streamers into the ring. Obviously, upon the realization, no, it was only a 2 count. They all, and this was a funny moment for me, they all chanted, "We fucked up. We fucked up." And that's getting to be a bit of a standard chant in wrestling these days, that if a wrestler goes for a move and slips, or goes for a dive and hits the ropes accidentally and doesn't quite do the dive properly, or does something wrong, the crowd chants, "You fucked up." But in this case, they were actually, all of them chanting, "We fucked up," after they threw literally a load and load of streamers inside the ring. I mean, loads and loads. It's something that's carried on from Japan, that streamers are now used in places like Ring of Honor, thrown into the ring during the introductions and at the end of matches. But a really good match between Michael Elgin and Adam Cole. I'm not going to go through move for move these matches, I thought, because I want people to check out this Ring of Honor Best in the World pay-per-view. Overall, I thought it was a really good event. I still am of the opinion, same as Jim Ross and Jim Cornette, that slightly less is more when it comes to these shows. Some of these matches, some of the spots I thought were a little bit too much. Just a little bit less of the high impact moves. Some of them, again, companies like Dragon Gate, and it's certainly this crossover style, this crossover American stroke Japanese cruiserweight, light heavyweight style that has certainly come to the fore in the last, I would say, 5, 6 years. Of a lot of high impact moves, they go for the pinfall, but their opponent kicks out, and they have to keep going with the impact and the high impact, the high risk moves, until eventually they wear down their opponent and get the win. I did think in a few of these matches they could have gone with a little bit less is more when it comes to a lot of these high impact, high spots. I just thought just the slight psychology of the matches weren't exactly as it could have been. I thought it lacked a little bit in some ways for some of the psychology of the matches, but overall it was a really good pay-per-view. What I would recommend fans checking out on Ustream. I'm sure it'll be available on demand. I think perhaps soon, if not by now. Certainly one that deserves to be. Overall, a good variation, as I said at the start, of matches on the card, showing their high flying, showing their hardcore no DQ stuff, showing their tag team wrestling, showing their strictly one-on-one match. It was a really good pay-per-view, and I think certainly if Ring of Honor tries to put the psychology a little bit more into the matches, as I said, they have a really good product that I think can really showcase some absolute fantastic talent that they have on their roster. Again, it was their first pay-per-view on the major pay-per-view providers, Ustream worldwide. It was certainly a very good base, a very good start for Ring of Honor in their life on real, actual pay-per-view. So overall, best in the world. It was a really good event. No surprises, no major surprises, no major appearances as many thought they would, but overall it was certainly one hell of a showcase for Ring of Honor and their young and upcoming roster of talent.